Kota Ibushi is finally all elite via video package. Oh, it's the most terrifying video package of all time because nobody can finish their Pillmanizing moves. I'm Ollie Davis. I'm joined by Luke Owen, DAD, who's looking at me with a grump on his face.
I've got a grump on my face.
Because he's like, why do you have to go burying this
I'm worried about people having a negative reaction to this. For a segment that everyone's really enjoyed. And I don't want to be the only podcast in the existence of wrestling YouTube that's coming in and be like, actually, I wasn't that good, that. Because it reflects poorly upon me, Oliver Davis.
If you believe in the truth of Ollie Davis's opinion, press the subscribe button. Or if you believe in other things, please also press the subscribe. Press the thumbs up button. Leave us a comment down below with what you thought of this episode and send in those OmegaChats to WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read out every single one of them over $5 while we get into our main discussion point, which was the closing segment of the show. Blackpool Combat Club revealed their 5th member to be Pac, a returning Pac. That's very exciting.
Very good storyline, makes complete sense as well.
Used to feud with Kenny Omega. It was Kenny who sort of fractured his face.
They took the trios titles from them and had that best of 7 series.
And even before then, the sort of Pac, Orange Cassidy, Kenny Omega 3-way feud and all that lark. And they beat down Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega sort of walked into Don Callis's trap because Don was like, I'm not scared of that gutless coward Kenny Omega. I'm going to announce the 5th man all by myself. I'll be all like the perfect bait. I'll just be there in the ring. The cock bait that he is. Looking. So one of the mods, I think,
it was Jenna.
Don Phallus.
Don Phallus. We had someone who messaged to say, you should call him Don Phallus. Because last week you said that Don Callis looks like a penis.
Yeah, especially with the scar.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like a drawing of a penis.
Add the sunglasses.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Do you not?
Yeah.
Does yours not?
Oh, that's what I mean. It's because mine has sunglasses.
And it just goes. Removes them. And
it's just got access to video packages from 1987. That's just like, here's how we started, kid.
So Kenny walked into that trap, and that's when they revealed Pac and John Moxley's there. I think Claudio was there. They're all beating him up. They're about to Pillmanize Kenny's neck. Pac cut a sort of a promo as well. I missed his promos.
Yeah,
I really like Pac promos.
It was because Pac was a genuine surprise. I don't think people really knew who the 5th member of Combat Club and Takeshita's team was going to be.
Well, we were worried.
Well, that's it. But I think that was a really good red herring.
Yeah, like Jericho we're talking
Jericho, because they set up Jericho last week to possibly be in Blood and Guts. And even on this show again, they had the segment with Don Callis asking Jericho to be part of his family. And I said last week, being like, oh man, I don't want Jericho in that match. Nothing against Jericho. It's just I'm really enjoying this storyline and he doesn't need to be there. Like, he's not part of this storyline. So like Pac was a genuine surprise because I thought it was going to be one of 2 names. It is either going to be Evil Uno or it's going to be CM Punk. Like, it's going to be one of those 2 names. And this second name here seems very unlikely. But what if? And I was like,
that'd have been amazing.
But I was like, but Evil Uno or Silver or Reynolds makes way more sense. Like, that makes sense within the story. And so when it was Pac, it was a genuine like, oh, that's a brilliant option. It works so well with everything they're doing. I hadn't thought of Pac.
And I hope Pac joins the Blackpool Combat Club, a faction befitting of his character as opposed to, well, he's not really a luchador, is he?
But
he's not related to Pentagon.
They're not called the Luchadors. They're called Death Triangle.
I never.
And he loves triangles.
But he doesn't speak any Spanish.
Of course he does. Have you been to Newcastle?
Yeah.
La Gregs.
But the
Costa del Gregs.
I think Pac is a good fit for the Blackpool Combat Club. He's got that very intense style. And also, apart from Wheeler Yuta, there is that unsaid, they're the ex-WWE guys. Moxley, Danielson, Claudio. I know you could also say they're the ex-indie guys. But
Don Callis.
Yeah, Takeshita.
But Don Callis at least was.
So, yeah, good point, yeah. They're about to Pillmanize Kenny's neck. And Moxley's kind of the promo, and he shoves the microphone in Kenny's face.
What he says is, do you have any final words you want to say before we break your neck in front of your countrymen.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenny says, yeah, I do. We've also got a fifth member. Check the screen.
Yeah. At which point, that paralyzed the Blackpool Combat Club for about a minute.
They checked the screen.
Yep, they checked the screen.
They did exactly what Kenny told them to do.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose you could also argue the lights went down. Pac wouldn't have been able to see the chair he was going to stomp on.
Yeah, and I think you'd also make the argument that maybe the Blackpool Combat Club want to know who the fifth member is so they can start preparing.
Well, they could have turned around after 10 seconds then, because they told you who it was in the first 10 seconds, and then it continued for another 20.
But when the lights came up, the Elite were there to stop them.
Well, obviously, I wasn't a fan of this staging. Kenny goes, check the screen, and then the screen goes, he's coming. He's coming. I was,
that's fair.
But that's like, I didn't feel like a pre-produced video package worked for me in regards to this. And then, yeah, you get the clips of Coda, and you're like, wait, and it got a huge pop in the audience, so, you know. It worked there, and I'm sure it worked for a lot of people. And then the lights come back on, Elite are there, they clean house, and Kenny makes the promise that we're going to destroy all the members of the Blackpool Combat Club with love and friendship, and then I'm coming for you, Don. Presumably setting up a big bump for Callis to take Blood and Guts.
I thought it was actually setting up a Don versus Kenny singles match.
Don't you think he's going to chase Don round the two rings?
I don't know, but it sounded like what he said was
Don is scaling the cage to escape Kenny.
This is all going to be over at Blood and Guts, and when it's all over, then I'm coming for you, Don. Which made it sound like, yeah, they'll probably do some spots at Blood and Guts, but I don't know. It sounded like we're put into a Don Kenny singles match, which I think would be amazing.
Yeah. Oh, God, when was the last time Callis wrestled? He wouldn't really wrestle. He'd probably have a load of. It'd work a stip where it's no DQ, so everyone can interfere for him. Yeah. I think it could be a lot of fun.
Well, you know,
it's mega heated.
Yeah, you do like Kenny versus Don and Takeshita as a 2-on-1 handicap match. I agree with you. Is actually one of the other things I'm going to say on this segment. Not fully.
That's all I need. A foot in the door is all I ask.
Sorry.
Very good.
I think that it's a tricky situation to be in if you're AEW when putting this segment together. Because what you have here is two options. You either don't announce anything on this segment and you just have the Pac return, and you say, next week at Blood and Guts, you will have the reveal of who the Elite's fifth member is. The argument, the business argument to be made against then is that, like, surprises work one way, actually announcing something works way better. A surprise does not pull in as much of a rating as an actual announcement does.
Yes, yeah.
So business-wise, you do want to say it's Kota Ibushi.
It's also a good go-home angle.
It's a great go-home angle to announce Kota Ibushi is joining the company. This is an incredible signing and a very exciting signing for All Elite Wrestling as well. But on the flip side of that, he's not there. Because that's the one thing we haven't mentioned yet, if you haven't seen the episode. When the lights come back up, Hangman and the Bucks clear the ring and they stand tall. But this crowd were waiting for Kota Ibushi to show up. So they popped when Kota showed up on the video, but then didn't pop as much when he wasn't in the ring. Because then there was this sort of ripple of realization of, oh, he's not here. So I don't know what I would have done in this situation. Like, I don't know which of the two I would have done. Well, okay, but if you don't have that as your magical third option of just having him there.
I just don't know why it isn't an option, though.
Maybe you can't get into Canada.
But there's been enough time to set it up. I think a video message would have been better.
I think the crowd would have had the same reaction of, he's not there. Like, this angle needed him there in order to be the big money angle that it was. So, I mean, like, case in point, we do like reaction videos on this channel where if we've got something like a really cool or hot angle, I'll like watch it in the morning. I'll be like, oh, we should do a reaction video to this. We'll get some people in the office who haven't watched it yet to come in and they can give their reactions. And because I kind of figured it was going to be Kota Ibushi, I'd already mentally preparing myself of like, who could I get in to do this? I know that Pete will be available. Laurie's around, so we could get Laurie on there. And we'll, sort of formulating it in my head. when the angle actually went, I was like, nah, I won't.
Yeah.
Like, I'll scratch that off my to-doist because I don't think we need to do a video to this because there's not a lot to actually react to.
This is a reveal like 5 years in the making. Ever since day one of AEW in 2019, everyone's like, well, when is Kota Ibushi going? When is Kota Ibushi going to travel through the Forbidden Door when he's working with New Japan? Oh, he's fallen out with New Japan. When's he just going to join All Elite outright? And you've had all this time, and the Elite are so good at long-term storytellings, but sometimes they do whiff bits. And I watched this reveal, and it was kind of like how, and I know he's gotten actually amazing since because CM Punk's likely booking him. But Jay White, I'm like, you've had all this time to prepare for a Jay White debut. You want him to hit the ground running when he enters the company, and this is what you've got for him. And this is how I felt towards this. I was like, this is your big Kota Ibushi joining AEW, reuniting the Golden Elite, back with Kenny in the go home angle for Blood and Guts. And it's this.
But he's not there. And so it's hard to do a go-home angle where someone runs into the ring when that person who's going to run in the ring is not there.
But still, I don't think it. Even the way the video package was set up, it still lost me. You know, just that bit I was talking about how goofy just having everyone stand around was and watching. I don't want that from the Blackpool Combat Club. They're not sports entertainery.
I get that.
It's a very sports entertainment spot.
But it's a pro wrestling thing.
I know, and by and large it works for me, but this one just didn't work for me.
And I think that's absolutely fair. I think on the Jay White thing, they didn't know they were going to get Jay White. I actually talked about to Dan about this on the Collision review we did on Monday. I'm still of the opinion everyone thought he was going to go to WWE, and so made no plans for Jay to come in. And when it found out that Jay is available, they were like, "Oh, brilliant! Well, let's get Jay now before someone else snaps him up." But now we need to figure out what we're going to do with Jay. But we actually haven't made any plans for Jay because no one thought he was coming here. And
but that's also terrible because
so he probably was going to go to WWE before they had the hiring freeze.
How many times have we criticized WWE over the years for not having creative in place 100%. For NXT call-ups?
That's what we said.
It's your choice when you debut someone.
But I also made the argument of everyone wanted more things for Ricky. And so they put him in the ring with one of the biggest free agents, and everyone said, like, it's a bit of a demotion for Jay White. It's like, well, what do you want then? Do you want to elevate Ricky? You wanted more for Ricky, but I also agree that they could have done something bigger with him, other than some people's arguments of just putting the title straight on him, because I don't think you could have done that. I don't think this was great, but I think it is probably the best you could have done with someone who isn't there. The argument is then to not do it because he's not there, but then the business argument is you should do it because you need to announce that he's going to be there.
But if the rule is he can't, where is Blood and Guts in America?
Yes.
Is it? Oh, okay. So if it's a Canada blocking thing,
yeah.
But still, like, you've had so much time to prepare for this, presumably.
But travel issues within wrestling in particular are like they are run right from like weeks up until something. It's like it's fine. Now they can't come in. Like PAC's had these issues before. Jamie Hayter has had these issues before. Like Australians have had these issues before, where they can't wrestle for a while because their travel arrangements can't be sorted out. Or, you know, the visas and whatnot.
Well, let's see what you all think on the OmegaChats, WrestleTalk.com/support. Get them in there. Kid Cutty says, Kota Ibushi is all elite. Okay. And then the male symbol. I know he's good, but I'm not going to pretend like this is needle moving. The reveals sucked tonight. Not expecting much after the match from him, but then again, he is friends with the Elite, so Tony will push them over the others.
Okay, that's fine. Like if you're not excited for Kota Ibushi, I guess that's your prerogative. But like he is one of the best wrestlers on the planet.
Yeah, he is one of the best wrestlers on the planet. And he got a huge pop when just the name was announced.
Yeah.
But I also think this falls into the more self-indulgent side of the Elite stories, because this is not something that really has ever been addressed in the AEW world explicitly. They've always been subtle references. So to just say Kota Ibushi to the 850,000 people who watch Dynamite, I know we always disagree on this. I think there are more casuals than you give them credit for. I feel like the Kota Ibushi thing won't connect and resonate with loads of people because they won't really know who he is. And even for me, who does know who he is and was watching New Japan when they were having the Golden Lovers storyline, I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. I would have felt. I don't know. I just the reveal didn't do much for me.
I totally get it, and I get that point. And and Kid Cudi's point that he's making there was like not expecting much. Not expecting much after this reveal. The flip side of that is that this crowd were going nuts for Nick Wayne. Who is probably way less known than Kota Ibushi is, because Kota Ibushi has been wrestling for he's got 15 years behind him on the wrestling scene. Nick Wayne is literally 18 years old. This is his first TV exposure ever. But this crowd were going nuts for him because I think it is just more of a, I'm not going to use the word smarter crowd because I think that's unfair, but a more tapped in crowd that are more tapped into the independent scene than the casual audiences.
I think that is more of a tick in the video package column because Nick Wayne was put over in a very good video package earlier in this episode. And I feel like that did a lot to invest the crowd into him before they ever saw him. Maybe a lot didn't know who he was.
But if you Kota Ibushi got a video package here.
Yeah, but it didn't. It was just
he has got a dead dad, Ollie. You can't, not every wrestler can sit down and talk about their dead dad.
But then who's Christian going to feud with?
Oh, Christian's very excited.
Yeah.
He's very excited about Nick Wayne joining.
Moxtober10 says, love the additions of Ibushi and Pac to Blood and Guts. I hope Pac becomes a permanent member of the BCC. As much as I like the Lucha Bros, I was never a fan of Death Triangle. BCC feels like a better fit for Pac for me.
So a lot of people said that at the time. Like I thought it was, you even said it. I mean, a lot of people made fun of the name as well because it's not a good name. Death Triangle is not a good name. It's a silly name. It's a silly pro wrestling name, and that's why I like it. But it's not a cool name. But I actually would much rather him in Blackpool Combat Club than the Lucha Bros.
I'm Just Marcus says, love that Pac was the last man for BCC. Makes sense. And I'm surprised no one thought of it. Also, at last, Ibushi. And in Blood and Guts, the match will be amazing. That said, I have to agree with Ollie here. What was the Elite's plan? And where was Kota?
Well, the Elite's plan was to announce Kota Ibushi. And they did that.
And let Kenny get the crap beaten out of him first. The perfect ambush.
They won, didn't they? Won the evening?
Yeah. And Nathan says, I hope this spins off into a Pac versus either Kenny or... Oh my God, can you imagine that? Well, for all the people who are underwhelmed by Ibushi, because they might not necessarily be familiar with them, you're in for a treat, because he is incredible. Pac versus either Kenny or Kota in a singles feud. His trial to join BCC, unleashing his full unhinged bastard gimmick. Also, Luke, I was wrong the other week, and Kevin Kelly is the best thing in wrestling, better than Michael Cole.
Yeah, I mean, like some people are allowed to be wrong, I guess. But I will not have any Kevin Kelly slander on this channel.
He's the best commentator,
and there was, and I won't stand.
No.
Won't stand for it. Not on this. Not on these four walls.
If he's on Cameo, please pay for him to send us nice messages. I want Kevin Kelly to know who we are by the amount of requests on Cameo
that say
please say I really like you, Ollie and Luke.
Surely you've got enough connections within the wrestling sphere now.
No, I can't reach out personally.
Because we have the voice of British wrestling sat upstairs.
That is so racist. Not all commentators know each other.
What I'm saying is he probably knows some people that can get you in touch with Kevin Kelly.
Yeah. I can't find Kevin Kelly on Cameo.
Can you get Coco Melon on Cameo?
I don't know who that is. Oh, well.
Coco Melon is a horrific kids cartoon show. Absolute garbage. It is like proper cheap 3D animation with awful songs. One of the songs literally goes, peas, peas, peas are nice.
Taking the peas they are with that stuff. And finally for now, oh no, two more have just come in. Riley says, Blood and Guts prediction, everyone's laid out and Kenny's going for Callis. Jericho comes out to stop him to protect his good old buddy. I hiccuped when I was speaking. Good old buddy. On Ibushi, he's been signed yet. Is he? Heard a lot that he's not wanting to sign to a large company generally at the moment. Did we get the big All Elite graphic?
We haven't. I don't think he's actually officially signed.
Interesting.
I think they'll do that next week when he's actually on the show.
I like that. I actually don't mind that with Jericho.
The Jericho coming
angle?
in. No, but for me, this needs to spin off into Kenny Takeshita. I'm way more into a Kenny Takeshita feud than I am another Kenny Jericho feud.
And Justin Reed, I'm with Ollie on this one.
Do you want to play the outro music?
We'll see if it happens again. And then we can. The Kota reveal kind of felt weird and flat. If they want to announce him ahead of Blood and Guts, have him actually be there on Dynamite to run in and even the numbers. If he can't be there, announce it without the BCC Kenny beatdown.
Well, that's the problem. We're all running this under the assumption they could have him there. The only reason I'm positing a worldview, sorry I got to say that is a big ick for my wife, but I'm only positing the worldview that he couldn't be there because he wasn't there. If they had the option for him to be there and they didn't have him there, that is beyond thick. Like that is a bad, terrible, no good decision to be made. The fact that it was a video package made me, I was like, oh, they couldn't get him there. And that's a real shame, which is why it goes like, man, then what do you do? Like, you can't have him there, but you want to announce him. This is a really like tricky way to do it. But in the end, what we got was a flat reveal.
He's coming.
He's coming. It is weird and flat, as Justin Reed has just said there. It was weird and flat. I guess you couldn't get him there.
Keep on getting your chats into WrestleTalk.com/support.
I meant to mention you actually. Someone suggested, we've been looking for what we're going to call the OmegaChats on Collision. Because it's the Punk show. There's no Kenny Omega there.
Yeah,
so we've been calling them CMDMs, which is what you and I came up with on the Collision show. Someone sent me a message saying they should be called No Mega Chats.
Oh, that's also good. Woof. This show began with Chris Jericho taking on Komander. Decent match.
Yeah, it's all right.
Komander's good. He does the rope walking really fast,
sure
and very impressive. And I thought Jericho was a good base to that stuff. Like they did the code breaker reversal. They caught one of the dives, I think it was a splash, into a lion tamer for the finish.
Yeah, he was going for like this sort of Hurricane Rana, Dragon Rana type thing from a springboard and dropped that into the lion tamer. Good finish.
Yeah. But the big thing was more the angle afterwards.
Don Callis comes out with his entrance. Like, a few people have pointed this out now, and even AEW said it looks like Vigo the Carpathian from Ghostbusters 2. Because it's all on his eyes at the start. And it feels like that's what they're going for Vigo from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, because the camera is zoomed in on the Tron of Callis, and then it tracks back, or it zooms out. That's not part of like the video, it's part of the broadcast. Yeah, I knew there was something.
It's Vigo.
Oh my God. He should come out with a purple goo.
It was pink. But like but I'm not gonna split hairs or anything. I proper laughed though when he came out and went, hell of a match, kid. You're the same age.
Yeah. Jericho goes, kid, I like that. But so the JAS weren't at ringside, and that was very much noticeable because commentary kept saying it every second. And Don's angle this week to get Jericho to join him is to tug on the old heartstrings.
To emotionally manipulate him.
Emotionally manipulate. Bit of ASMR. Emotionally manipulate. I don't think people want stuff like the words emotionally manipulate to help them fall asleep.
I masturbate. That's what ASMR's for, right?
Emotionally manipulate?
No, ASMR.
ASMR's for masturbation. I just thought it was for people to get to sleep.
I think it's a masturbation thing.
Funny enough, I use both. So Bad News Brown was their joint mentor back in 1995. Dom played video footage from 95.
So awesome.
Really good.
It was so great.
And Jericho afterwards is like, I've got hair still. Yeah. And they were joshing. It felt like actual real joshing, a good-natured friendship there. And Dom was like, Bad News Brown said to, or Bad News Allen.
Bad News Allen.
Yeah, because Bad News Brown was his WWF name. That he wanted us to always stay together because they were all in a faction together. And Jericho said he said the same thing to me. And Callis was like, it's what he would want.
Yeah.
And Jericho left, like, looking up to the sky.
And Taz, like, I'm sure he's looking down now, seeing us in the ring together, and he's got a smile on his face. Really was emotionally manipulative.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I really like this.
Jungle Boy won't get out of his car backstage because he's scared of Hook.
He's not scared of Hook.
Oh, yeah.
It's an unsafe working environment.
Hook got into the car on the other side, chased Jungle Boy out. Jungle Boy ran round, got into the car. The car zoomed off.
Because it looks like the group just isn't a group anymore. Anna Jay should be the one driving the car.
That's nice.
Yeah. Have Anna Jay and Hook be Anna Jay and Jungle Boy being a little tag thing.
Good heel couple.
Yeah, a little heel couple thing. Yeah. Kind of what they were doing with Sammy and Tay, but he's a good guy now. So do it with Jungle Boy and the other one.
Remarkable, Renee Paquette. You got annoyed by that last week. It seems like it's here to stay.
Did I get annoyed by
I feel like you might have done.
They've been doing Remarkable Renee for like months now.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've ever commented on it.
Oh, right. Okay. What? Did someone say that in the office to me then? I can't remember.
It's probably Laurie.
And that teased the fifth member announcement. Callis got heat just by walking into frame, and he somehow managed to mention that gutless coward
Kenny Omega. I think it was on the MJF thing. I just like how commentary don't like Don Callis, apart from Taz, obviously.
Yeah.
And like Tony Schiavone's like, he's an idiot.
Yeah, it's really good. Then we got the greatest thing in pro wrestling. Honestly, no, actually, Bloodline's still best, but this is getting close to the most enjoyable current thing. It's Max and Adam Cole.
Are you still rating Bloodline above Punk MJF?
Oh no, so, like that's going on right now. I mean.
Oh right,
sorry.
Yes, yeah. So because the Bloodline's the best thing in wrestling.
Yeah.
This is like a very close second best thing in wrestling.
That is currently happening on TV.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
sorry. I apologize.
I don't think this is already the second best story.
I did think this is a bold claim 2 weeks in.
You push back on that. And it was similar to last week, but rather than in the gym, MJF and Adam Cole are having this blossoming friendship at the bar. They're doing shots. 4 lovely ladies walk past, and Max is like, I'm a numbers guy. I see 2 for you, 2 for me. And Adam Cole's like, dude, like, I love Brett.
I'm with Brett.
And Max goes, I really respect that. And he walks off and he shags them all.
He comes back doing up his flies.
Didn't he say something like they took the maximum ride?
Yeah.
Sounds like Ric Flair's Space Mountain thing. And Cole's like, you can't say that anymore, but he's getting a kick out of it.
Yeah.
And they talk about how Adam Cole isn't wearing the shirt. And Adam Cole's like, well, I lost it. And he's like, well, the truth is, I didn't lose it. But if we do what I want to do now, I will wear the shirt. And he whispers it in Max's ear. And Max goes, oh, no. And it jump cuts.
Hard cuts.
To them playing AEW Fight Forever together. The crowd, you can hear the crowd audibly laughing. It was so good.
Oh, no, this is for nerds.
Yeah.
Like, only nerds play video games.
They put over the game so well.
And Adam Cole's in with MJF was like, you're in this game. And I was like, I am? And he's like, yeah, and your stats are really good too. They are? We can work together on this game. It's like, oh, we can? And they're playing this game, and he's having fun. And then he says the line, wow, this video game thing's really fun. It's fun when you're kind of like playing with each other, like, you know, playing games with each other. And Adam Cole's like, what, you never played multiplayer before? And MJF just says, it's hard to play multiplayer. You need friends to do that.
Adam Cole pauses the game and says, like, look, man, honestly, I was going to betray you at the start of this. And Max is like, I was going to betray you too. And Cole says, you're actually pretty cool. They can coexist. And then, they work together in the video game to beat FTR and win the World Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, they got that DLC.
Yeah, because FTR aren't in the game.
Yeah, they're DLC, yeah.
Really, really great. This is excellent storytelling.
So good.
It's this is sports entertainment done to a perfect T.
So there's been it was a common thread I saw when I was checking, funny enough, not threads, about people their feedback to this episode, and that is Collision is the show that Dynamite used to be, but since Collision is now the wrestling show, Dynamite is more sports entertainment than it is a pro wrestling show. And I think it's segments like this, It's the stuff they're doing with Don Callis, the big goofy reveal that you had at the end of this episode. And I kind of see the argument that some people are making about that, because Dynamite and Collision do not feel like the same show.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it was Tony Schiavone who said that they're all really enjoying booking Collision because it's something totally different to what happens on Dynamite. But I don't look at Dynamite and go, this is the soap opera show.
No.
Like how I would a SmackDown. But it really is by AEW standards. But this is honestly terrific. It is so emotionally investing, and it sets up the matches where you can do absolutely nothing, and the crowd are the loudest of the whole night.
They work smarter, not harder, which we will get to when we get to their tag match, which was match of the night.
But before then, we had the other half of the semi-finals in the Tag Team Eliminator Tournament, which was Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy taking on Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. I thought this was a very good match.
This was excellent. Yeah,
I really... And when I was watching them, particularly when Swerve turned up for the finish to do a running knee on Darby on the apron, which directly led to Darby getting pinned, I was like, this is my mid-card. This is the actual AEW mid-card that I like. Daniel Garcia, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin.
Swerve. Keith Lee, kind of in the periphery on this one.
Not so much Sammy Guevara. But like, just keep those guys in the mix.
But it feels like with what happened later on in the show, Nick Wayne's going to be sort of like slotted into that position there, which is why like the international title is like the best mid-card title in AEW right now. Yeah. And I'm loving what Christian's doing with Luchasaurus. You know, but like the international title is the matches I'm most looking forward to.
So the finish, really good match. But I love Daniel Garcia and Orange Cassidy wrestling.
Yeah,
it's one of the more like longer term storylines this year that I just get really excited about every time they touch.
Daniel Garcia yesterday was shared by a meme account, like a regular, like not connected to wrestling meme account. And it was the spot from Forbidden Door when he's dancing in front of Shibata and Zack Sabre Jr. and they keep beating him up. But the more they beat him up, the harder he dances until they just both beat him up at the same time. But it really was one of those moments like, oh, Garcia's breaking through.
Yeah.
Like that's people who aren't watching wrestling being like, what's this weird thing?
He's great. It feels like he's the same as last year because I think his progression has been very gradual. But actually, if you compare him now to last summer, he has really improved.
Yeah.
And it is adding that sports entertainment vibe to his technical wrestling.
Jericho was right.
Yeah.
Do you see the clip from Ring of Honor where after he wins his match and Aubrey Edwards like raises his hand and he sort of like puts his arm around and puts it on her wrist instead, then spins her around and does his little dance and she literally goes like, oh no.
Very good. But yeah, Prince Nana came down, distracted, the referee by giving Garcia a skateboard. That was when Swerve ran in to help Sammy get the win, but Sammy wasn't really aware that Darby had been hit. Plays like the babyface ignorant pin because they're still trying to make Sammy a babyface. A lot of tension between Garcia and Guevara. I don't like it.
Yeah. I was genuinely surprised that they won.
Yeah, because I think the better final is Cassidy and Darby versus MJF and Cole.
Absolutely it is. That is a much, much better final. The only way that it's not a better final is that MJF and Sammy had their odd couple tag team a couple of months ago. So you can probably do a couple of backstage segments based around that. But in-ring wise, I think I'd much rather Cole, MJF, and Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. Because I prefer Darby and MJF's history than I do MJF and Sammy's history. More so, I kind of see MJF and actually then you got the Orange Cassidy Adam Cole dynamic.
Yeah.
And I
one
want
of the first feuds he had.
And I want to see Orange Cassidy and MJF. International champion versus world champion.
Yeah. I was quite disappointed with
Same
that.
here.
Not just because I'm not into Sammy at all in his current form. But yeah, I thought it was right there for you.
I think this is the weaker of the two options.
Definitely. Did sour me a bit on the episode. That honestly, that decision I was so disappointed by. I was like, oh well. But then we got the best stuff again. They brought it right back because we continued this Cole MJF stuff. We have Cole backstage first with Renee trying to interview him, but Cole's pacing on the phone like, oh, I'm so sorry, Renee. Britt, I'm really sorry. Obviously, Britt's given him a hard time for staying out with Max all night.
Yep. And Roddy then walks in. Sad Roddy.
I'm
with my neck in a brace.
Oh,
I can't be
ouch.
part of the tournament. I got knocked out of a different tournament. Now my friend is with this guy over here. And he's like, what the hell, man? I was like, look, dude, it's fine. Do you know what? He's not that bad. You and I didn't like each other when we first met each other, but I think of you as a brother now, so maybe it's okay. Oh, sorry, I've got a text from Max. And, then Max texting to be like, I've just walked past Brian Cage. I think I've got the flu.
Yeah. And then Cole paces off like, Max, no.
Because he was doing that on social media in the week as well, being like, I think I called whatever Adam Cole had a couple of weeks, and I think I could make it to Dynamite after Big Bill and Brian Cage went on Rampage.
Really funny. And they also teased hitting the double clothesline again.
Oh, didn't they just?
Very important. Because then we had the actual match, Big Bill and Brian Cage, who are terrific.
Yeah, they're a great team.
And Brian Cage, I don't know how he looks bigger.
Yeah.
He looks bigger than he was like the last time I saw him.
You see the video of him?
Is it because he's standing next to Big Bill and he's thinking, I'm a bit small?
Yeah, I need to jack myself up a little bit.
But widthways.
Oh, yeah, he's as tall as he is wide.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of him being booked for someone's wedding? And he just during the groom's speech, he just comes into the room with his music being played and power bombs him through a table.
No.
I mean, not. It was awesome because social media Abby was talking about her wedding. I was like, you should book Brian Cage. Yeah. Brian Cage would come in and powerbomb your husband to be through a table.
Does then he sort of officiate the ceremony?
No, I think he just then collects his paycheck and leaves. He does it in his pants as well. So you can just have this ginormous man and his wife fronts walk in.
And that's a shame because I thought he would also be in a suit but with the arms torn. That's the visual image I got. This match was even better than the stupid match we got last week. Max is in the ring first, Big Bill, and he goes for a body slam. He calls to the crowd, body slam.
Body slam.
And then Max tries the body slam, can't do it, back hurts too much. Tags in Adam Cole. It's Brian Cage versus Adam Cole. They do push-ups. No one really does a wrestling move for about 3 minutes.
It's like Rock Hogan.
Yeah. It's Triple H, John Cena on that first Saudi show. Shoulder block. Yeah. But the... I don't usually swear in my notes, but this is effing marvelous.
And it really was, though. When they were doing the push-up spots and stuff, and... I was into this at the start anyway because MJF tried to hug Adam Cole on his entrance. Adam Cole was like, well, we're not there yet, but I will fist bump you.
Yeah.
MJF running around Adam Cole as he's doing an entrance, doing the Roddy / Shawn Michaels thing. And he tries to do it again to Big Bill, but he can't do it. So he tries to do some push-ups just like Adam Cole had done. So Big Bill just boots MJF. It's like, stop doing this. Look, there is an argument to be made. You should not be booking your world champion like this to be this goofy goofball. Mm-hmm. But I kind of love it.
Yeah.
And I love MJF is a tremendous babyface.
Yeah.
I one of the things I love about MJF is people kind of say, oh, he's just a promo guy. Then he goes out and has the best Iron Man match and the best dog collar match you've ever seen. She's like, oh no, he's also an incredible wrestler.
Singles dog collar match.
Singles dog collar match, of course. And then he's doing this and you're like, oh, he can also be an amazing baby. Mm-hmm. He can literally do everything. He can do serious, he can do comedy, he can do horror, he can do drama, and he can do babyface heel. And he's amazing at all of it. He literally cannot do wrong.
Yeah, he was worked over. And last week I felt like it was weird. It was good, but it was weird seeing MJF be worked over for the majority of a tag match. Same thing happened here. And I was like, this feels right.
Yeah.
Maybe because it was more set up in the earlier video package with the I've Got No Friends. So you've got a bit more sympathy going in with him. But of course, he's still a heel. So he builds to that hot tag with a poke in the eye.
Poke to the eye and gets the hot tag to Adam Cole.
But not before he bit Bill's fingers first, then hits the body slam on the third time of trying.
Yeah, finally
the crowd exploded.
I go nuts for the body slam. It was so good. Mm-hmm. The hot tag to Adam Cole, who runs wild. But in that running wild, Adam Cole also uses the eye poke. Learning from MJF, seeing do you know what? Actually, that is a tactic that does work. It's the heel within Adam Cole. just rising to the surface every now and again.
That's something I haven't really thought about how not into Adam Cole I was 2 weeks ago. And now I'm like, this is like old Adam Cole. I never would have thought MJF would give Adam Cole the babyface rub.
But it's also because he's doing a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
The devil does bring out the worst in you. And I thought this was so great. And then they both set up to do the double clothesline. But they got stopped and their heels beat them up with a double clothesline of their own. Oh, it was awesome. Then worked together to get a clean pin. Not with the double clothesline, just, dropping the boom to get the win. Awesome, awesome match.
Because they're saving that double clothesline. But will it be for the final? Or will it be for the FTR Tag Team Championship win? It'll be for the final, and it will be used for a very good near fall in the FTR match. I think the way they win, by the way, because you don't want to beat Sammy or Garcia with a double clothesline on its own. You would do boom. MJF is pick him up, double clothesline. Yeah. And that's how you get the pin. Afterwards, Max and Cole both grabbed mics. They did a straight up babyface tag team promo, put over their shirts on AEWshop.com, and then said the double clothesline is coming. That got a chant. And we're coming for the tag titles.
Yeah, July 29th on Collision.
If they can, what was the word? They said something very specific. Cole said, if we stay on the same page, we will win the tag team titles. So that to me says that's the out for them to lose. Something will happen between them.
I think so. I think we're likely going to get Cole MJF at All In and then MJF Punk at All Out a week later. So yeah, I thought this was great.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, maybe this is just me, but when they did say they were going to face for the tag titles on Collision, I felt that was a mild boo.
Oh, really?
I was just no, not that show. No, that's his show.
Well, FTR's on Collision, aren't they?
Yeah.
After that, we got. Oh, sorry. We also had Roddy watching annoyed backstage.
I'm grumpy with my sore neck.
So he'll split up stuff. Renee backstage with Jake Hager. They're outside Jericho's locker room. And Hager goes in to talk about JS, says, look, I've been with you from day one in this company. I saved your life in 2010. Can't remember, in Kuwait or somewhere on an overseas tour.
It was an overseas tour.
And you owe me to tell me what you're going to do. And Jericho was like, I don't know right now. I'm thinking it through. And Hager took off his hat and gave it to Jericho. A surprisingly touching gesture.
It's probably the best thing that Jake Hager's done in AEW. Been there for nearly 4 years.
Mad, isn't it? Brian Pillman Jr. left the company this week, which I'm a bit like, that sucks. I think he's actually very good. How's Luther still there?
He signed a big contract.
We've got to that point.
Actually, in fairness, he did sign his contract after Pillman, yeah. But
we've got to that point in AEW where I'm now like, why are these people gone and these people are still here? It's a natural part of any promotion life cycle, I guess.
There was someone posted this thing up on Twitter, and I feel bad because he's getting dunked on a little bit for it, but he posted up a list of people who haven't been on TV for 3 months, but we're all excited about Kota Ibushi. He's like, what about these three? What about these people? And amongst others is like, Peter Avalon's not been on TV. I was like, oh yeah, I suppose we probably should put Peter Avalon on before we have Kota Ibushi come onto this show.
Would have been a better reveal. Ruby Soho then took on Skye Blue in, I thought, an actually pretty decent match.
This is very good.
Meltzer and Alvarez were annoyed. Oh, no, not Alvarez, but just Meltzer was annoyed that the Outcasts threw Skye Blue into the steel steps right at the start that the referee saw 100% of. He ejected them. I just felt like that was referee's discretion because it's a tournament match.
But what was he wanting?
What, an immediate DQ. Skye Blue advances.
I only threw her into the stairs. It's not like they hit her with kendo sticks and stuff.
That was the start of the arm injury that was worked over for the entire match.
I think it's more referee's discretion.
Yeah,
I ejected them from ringside.
Yeah, and it was worth it for Tony Storm's overly heel reaction. Like, what? Tony Storm is so much better as a heel.
Yeah. I got a little bit distracted on this one as well because it's Stephon Smith who was doing the refereeing. And have you seen this month's Botchamania?
No.
When Tony Schiavone mispronounces his name, calls him Stephen Smith. And Taj goes, Stefan Smith. Got little animation and stuff. But I'm correcting them. And he's like, so it's Del Vikingo? And he's like, like Del Taco.
Yeah. It's funny. Ruby had a really good spot in this where she worked the heckins out of me. Sky Blue seemed to botch a move. Ruby landed face first. Of course, she had that nose break injury. And she genuinely played possum. Referee checked on her. Sky Blue's going up top. It was a ruse.
All a ruse. She was putting Stefan in the way of Sky Blue doing her move off the top rope so that she could then run into the rope, knock her off, and then hit the no future from the middle rope for the win.
I thought this was good. I liked
Really
it.
good.
I think Sky Blue's gotten so good in the last couple of months as well. And I'm really enjoying Ruby's work too.
I think Ruby's been great recently.
Yeah.
Like that promo she had a couple of weeks ago, I thought was awesome. She had a promo that was aired on social media yesterday that I thought was superb. I actually wouldn't mind her winning.
You've been watching a lot of online videos recently, haven't you?
I'm not that busy.
You keep telling me about all the... You've seen this video? What about this meme?
It's Threads, man.
Is that what it is?
It's not.
Who could she be against in the final?
It's either going to be Willow or Athena. It was taped yesterday at
Yeah.
Rampage.
That's got to be Willow, surely.
I would have thought it'd be Willow.
We then got QTV debuting Harley Cameron's music video, Answer to the Acclaimed. She dissed down the Acclaimed a bit, and then she mostly talked up the various members of QTV. It was very well produced. It was well performed. That didn't really do anything for me, if I'm honest.
Here, Harley has a song. They celebrate. Those were my notes. I am a 40-year-old man who grew up in Berkshire and now lives in rural Kent.
And you were very excited by this woman.
And I drive a Kia Sportage. I don't think I'm in a position to be commenting on rap culture.
You don't want to talk about the spitting of the bars, the cadence of the delivery?
Well, I mean, you can do that because you're from Walthamstow, so you've got your ends can do that sort of thing.
That's how you've got to order coffee. Got to drop a rhyme.
I mean, you and E17, like you've got all the grounds you want.
It's legacy there.
Yeah.
After that, we got the final thing we'll be talking about because then it went into the Ibushi segment. Nick Wayne versus Swerve Strickland. Oh, we did.
I thought we were going to save it for this bit because there was a video package before the MJF Cole video.
Yeah.
The second Nick Wayne intro video that was this time him talking to the camera as opposed to Darby talking about Nick. This was him talking about his training, the day that his mum told him about his father's passing and how he sort of like used that and wants to continue on the Wayne name. You know, he's a third generation Wayne. He's been in wrestling rings since he was 6 months old because they've always just had one in the back garden or the backyard. So it was a really, really good like introduction to Nick Wayne and his story. And I thought it was tremendous.
It was really good. It was so good. And this very rarely happens that I must have just been watching it. And I never wrote a single note.
Yeah.
I must have been completely absorbed. Really good. And it really helped the match as well. When Nick Wayne came out, Darby Allin came out with him and gave him quite an emotional hug. You felt that.
This means so much to them. One of the things I was kind of very much enjoying yesterday on, sort of yesterday evening on social media as I was sort of coming home from work was the excitement that people had who've known Nick for years. So, Craig from the Brian and Vinny show has known him since he was like so little.
Wow.
And was just really, really pleased for it. Denise has like interviewed Nick and stuff and has done like, some shows that Nick Wayne was on. So she was like so pleased. And Brian Zane has like called some of his earliest matches. So like he was really excited. It genuinely was like a wonderful, lovely moment. And Darby gave him this big, deep hug that was just like you earned this spot. Because he turned 18 on Monday.
Yeah, it's mad.
Like it is. He's like they said you can be on TV once you turn 18, and they did not wait around. So they lived 3 days later, and here he is on TV.
So you can see my theory. I've written here theory. I've not asked him, but theory right at the start of my notes. Darby is going to cost Swerve the match to help Nick Wayne win. Because I was like, oh, that's why Darby lost the tag match, and Swerve interfered there. It's the setup interference where Swerve would be cheating with Prince Nana. Darby knocks Swerve as a bit of heel comeuppance, and then Nick Wayne gets the win. Nick Wayne gets the win his first match. Swerve's protected. All is well with the world. That's not what happened. Wayne did win. Sorry, Swerve did win. Really good match.
Great match. It was there to showcase Nick. It was there to give him all of his big spots and stuff, and to do like the big poison Rana and to hit the Wayne's World and all this sort of stuff. But I never thought he was going to win this match because Swerve is the bigger star here, and it reminded me of Rollins and Mysterio. Like Dominic's first feud he had when he came into WWE was against Rollins, and his first pay-per-view match was against Rollins, and I remember, I was like, surely Dominic's going to get the win because you want to put over the new and upcoming star. And Adam looked at me and was like, there's no way that Seth's the bigger star, Seth's going to win. And so I went into this match being like, Swerve's the bigger star, Swerve is going to win. So I was never surprised. I know there were a few, like Dave Meltzer, I know, was like really annoyed and really quite angry that Nick Wayne didn't win here. But I guess I didn't ever think he was going to, so I didn't have that reaction to it.
I didn't know which way they were going to go, but I certainly knew what I would have done, and that was book Wayne to win in his debut. So I think this was not an effective booking decision, but the match was very good.
Yeah, match was great.
Hopefully that's enough to get Nick Wayne over, but I do think now, hopefully he's got stuff to do immediately, because you don't want to lose your debut and then you appear on Rampage next week, and then you're on Collision 3 weeks after that. You need something.
Well, I feel we've already set ourselves up a little tag thing here Swerve is already starting a feud here with Nick Wayne, and Darby Allin's involved in this as well, so you can do a Darby and Nick Wayne thing, which I think has got lovely little parallels to it, because Sting's become like a mentor to Darby, and now Darby's like a mentor to Nick Wayne. So I think there is stuff for Nick Wayne to get out of this. Plus, he kicked out that top rope powerbomb, which Crivens drove him through the earth.
That was There were a couple of great near falls in that, particularly Swerve's foot on the ropes. Oof.
Exactly. Swerve only got the win because slight error in judgment on the part of the youngster. He's 18 years old. We're not putting belts on him straight away. No. There's lots of time ahead of him. Another fun fact dropped in this match: Aubrey Edwards refereed his first match in North America. It's just kind of incredible. Just the story that the young man has got. I very much enjoyed this, and I get the argument of giving Nick Wayne the win, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, which is what some people have reacted to it as.
Overall, I gave this 81%, which is pretty much a 4 out of 5.
Yep.
Most of that is because of the Cole MJF stuff. I thought it was extraordinary. But there was a lot of stuff on this show that I wasn't actually a fan of in terms of booking. So Nick Wayne not winning, Darby and Orange Cassidy not winning, and also the execution of the main event angle.
Honestly, if we were on your percentage scale, I'd have probably gone lower than that. I'd probably gone 75.
Yeah. Well, let's get into our wonderful shout-outs to our Pledgehammers on Patreon before we get into our remaining Omega chats.
Today, in fact, WrestleTalk After Dark. WrestleTalk Behind the Scenes will be going live shortly. In fact, it might even be live as we speak. It was recorded just before this episode of Dynamite on the WrestleTalk podcast. Myself and Pete going over what happened over the last month. We talk about Sean coming into the office.
Yes.
Recording Survival Series, the Money in the Bank show. Some behind-the-scenes things that I had when I interviewed the people for Money in the Bank, when I interviewed Bailey and LA Knight and things like that. So lots of topics to dive into. Pete gives his winning formula for Survival Series and how he did so well.
Oh, the secret sauce. Sign up now. Well, thank you very much to these wonderful Pledgehammers, $25 a month or more. The big hitters, Lord Chris Zanto.
2 lots to handle, Lottie McClough.
Emotionally manipulate. Manny Omaria.
How'd you like them apples, Marcel Jura?
Have a glass of sherry, Martel J. Simmons.
He's got 2 first names, Matt Howard.
The real boss, Matt Robinson.
Max Kurt Wallander Wallen.
Michael, Mark for Life, Plowman.
Paul, the enigmatic bell tower, Toff.
This is some kind of Patreon shout-out. Nate, drop surname.
And lastly, for this Hall of Fame class, on the 13th of July, 2023, the Batsman, Nathan Batty.
Let's get into the remaining Omega chats. Last call for those, WrestleTalk.com/support. Charles Berg says, so I like the Cole MJF story, but it's always important to remember Max is a sociopathic narcissist with a penchant for emotional manipulation. His main goal is to ruin Adam's life. Cole's convo on the phone with Britt is proof of that to me. It's good.
That's really good. I believe it's also penchant as opposed to...
What did I say? A penchant?
No, you said penchant.
A penchant.
But I mean, that's a really good thing. He is driving wedges between Cole's actual friend in Roderick Strong and actual partner in Britt Baker.
I don't think you can discount the insecurity that drives Max as well. So he might really want to be Adam Cole's friend, especially because he looked up to Cole.
Yeah, or he just doesn't realize that he's doing it.
Will Campbell. Yeah, that's another good. Will Campbell. Other than the bloodline, the story between Adam Cole and MJF is the best thing going in wrestling right now. And to be honest, I actually kind of want them to beat FTR for the titles. Also, I popped for Kota, even though I kind of knew he'd be the fifth man. We'd all figured it out, hadn't we?
Yeah. Do you think that plays somewhat into the disappointments that he wasn't there is because everyone had kind of figured that it was Kota?
Yeah, I guess because we all knew it was going to be that. You needed more than just the name. You needed a move.
Like, I guess so. Because, like, if Kota Ibushi had still been signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling and like, they hadn't dropped any teasers of who it could possibly be, and then out of nowhere, it's like, it's Kota Ibushi, it would have been like this whole, like, oh, wow, oh my God, amazing. However, because they've essentially told us ahead of time there's going to be Kota Ibushi, and then, like, it's Kota Ibushi. Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, via video package. Josh says, Nick effing Wayne. All seriousness, was really glad to be there live. Oh, awesome. How did the crowd sound on your end? I didn't think the crowd sounded that good. They were good in parts, but overall not great.
No, I wrote during the Nick Wayne match, they're giving this match the respect it deserves.
It was a great and loud atmosphere, but I've seen comments that we weren't very good. Yeah, I'm sorry, it didn't really come across on TV, Josh.
It's bad production on AEW's part.
Bacon Rasher. Hi, lads. I think I've sorted Streamlabs.
Hey!
Oh, good. Oh, yes, we met Bacon Rasher.
You certainly did.
Much better show than last week for me. Wrestling was decent and great to see Wayne. MJF and Cole was the best part of the show. Hope this gets through. I've missed OmegaChats. Thanks for the name drop the other week.
Well, I was going to say, it was one of my favourite interactions from that Money in the Bank party when he told us his name and then just sort of raised his eyebrows to watch me figure out, like, your son is Bacon. You're Bacon Rasher.
Cheeky chappy is what he is. Fred Verst. Hello, gents. Really enjoyed last night's Dynamite. Admittedly, not as much as I've enjoyed MS Paint, though.
MS Paint is an artist that I discovered recently through a new metal podcast called the POD Cast. On their Patreon series, they review like suggestions that people send in. And one of them was an artist called MS Paint and their song Titan of Hope. And I've been like, this is awesome. It's so good. And so on the Monday Night War stream, I was like, people go check out MS Paint. And it's like, that's the new scene queen, because I've been getting people messaging me being like, check out MS Paint on your recommendation. They are dead good.
You're a thought leader, aren't you?
I'm like, some say I'm an influencer.
Titan of Hope has been on loop since the Monday Night War live stream. Thanks for the recommendation, Luke. Lisa McMullen, has been a member for 6 months. Greetings from sunny Gran Canaria. Watching this next to the pool. Ooh. Haven't had the chance to watch yet. Can't wait to watch you. Love you guys. Jam at Jam. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Enjoy Gran Canaria.
Tiki0082. It was a solid show overall. It was only a little bit. But excited to see what's to come for Nick Wayne. Much loves, many hugs, Tina.
Very good.
Dan, how would you end the MJF Cole angle? I love it. What if, since the tag title finals are on Collision, Punk screws MJF out the win, you can do Cole Punk at All In, Punk MJF at All Out, and Cole MJF stay friends for now. Jam that jam.
I hadn't even thought of that. Punk costing them the match, because Punk's obviously got his red bag. His
friends
red bag,
with FTR.
His red bag of mystery. And that can play into their match. I hadn't even considered Cole and Punk at All In. But that's a great idea.
Yeah. There is this thing. Do you ever need to split them up? Could Adam Cole be MJF's one friend forever? I'm starting to feel that way. Matt Hennessy, loving the Cole and MJF partnership. I think whatever original plans AEW had for Cole and MJF feud, they should call an audible, have them win the tournament and beat FTR for the tag titles, have them be the most obnoxious heel team that thinks they're faces.
I think they need to be faces, though. I think that's what makes them an endearing team.
Yeah.
Is they are baby faces.
Yeah. Jonathan Hedman, Memberg for 22 months. Speaking of Nick Wayne, I wish they would do more in the packages like they did with this week, so we know who guys like Vikingo are, so I know who they are. I agree. I said the same thing about Ibushi for just the overall audience.
Sometimes there are guys who just do it in the ring. I don't think you needed a video package for Vikingo ahead of his match with Omega, because the second that match started, you're like, oh, that's why this guy is amazing.
Matt Hennessy. That fits in line with MJF's character, someone who is scared of getting hurt, so he hurts others first. Setting us up with Cole versus MJF at Winter is Coming, with Cole beating MJF for the world title, stopping Max from leaving AEW with the title. Look at that. We've gone from like, well, will this work? Cole's a bit cool, to let's have this go until December. Nathan, it was on Collision when the crowd chanted, "This is wrestling," and Kevin Kelly says, they're not wrong. At least they're perceptive, but I realized how wrong I was. Also, Kota should have only debuted at Blood and Guts. Could have had a few weeks of winding BCC up. Yeah. Josh Salom, your name already came through, but thanks for donating very generously again. Not sure if my first one came in or not. Nick effing Wayne, super hyped. How was the crowd from your end? I was there live, but I've seen, sad face. So it didn't come through great. Blakey, I'm hoping that Bullet Club Gold wins the belts, and then we get Golden Lovers versus Bullet Club Gold. Would be super fun, and they could play off the Kenny and Jay White history Bullet Club stuff. I think we'd have MJF and Cole versus Bullet Club Gold.
With Cole.
Yeah.
With his Bullet Club history.
Jay White versus MJF. Heel Jay White versus Babyface Max on the mic. Juice Robinson.
Max!
I'll tag to you.
Justin Reed said, yes, Luke, the 4K in the arena are hardcore fans, but Ollie is right. The 850 watching at home are going to have a mix of hardcore casuals and first-time viewers. Context for who, what is happening is needed to convert casuals to hardcore.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're wrong on that one. But
even hardcore fans like me, I like the sort of catch-up packages.
You can, I agree, but they had like a video package here and put him over as a big deal. It's not like they were doing as Kota Ibushi. Like they literally had he is coming. Like this is the biggest deal it possibly can be. I think I'm not saying that they just were like, oh, what, some lad, I guess. They made it seem like it's a big deal. So if you are a casual, like, wow, who's this guy? Better tune in next week to find out who it is. And also, and again, you can tell it in the ring. An unknown username here who's been lost, please do let our moderators know. I said, I feel like it would have been better if BCC beat up Kenny at the beginning of the show with Pac. Elite check up on him in the back, and we have a phone ring to Kota's music teasing fans. And the show, at the closing of the show, Kenny reveals Kota is coming in the ring with the video.
Yeah, that's better. I think, Kenny, maybe that's the way you do it. And Kenny says the name, and you just go off air with the video package. You never come back to the ring. That could have been a way to do it.
You would have said, but what happened to Kenny's neck? What happened to
the but you wouldn't have
the beatdown.
The beatdown that would have happened at the start of the show. It would just be Kenny in the ring with
the only thing there is just like it's playing Kota's music. If our argument is we need to be appealing to the casuals here, playing someone's theme song is even more of a who is that then?
Well, but then you announce what it fully is later.
I think saying the name is way less than having a video package that shows who that person is. Jake says, like Luke, I knew of Buddy Wayne through the Brian and Vinny show. I teared up a bit that video last night, and I'm so happy for Nick to see his future in AEW. Also, I was wondering if Luke inspired the WrestleTalk Presenter's shirt. It reminds me of an old Limp Bizkit t-shirt.
It was your idea, wasn't it?
That Faces one, that was Andy's.
Oh.
But Colostopia here says, Bullet Club Gold win, so we can have heel Bullet Club versus face MJF facing inverted commas at Cole at All In. A 7-man ladder match for International at All In. PS Cole and MJF had faces, so they're going to face the heel of the JAS. It seems logical for me.
What?
Well, so the point that Colostopia is making there is that because MJF and Cole are the faces, they need to be going up against their heel team in the finals of the blind tournaments.
Right. Yeah, but so.
Which is why you can't have Orange Cassidy and Darby, because then it's just four faces as opposed to two faces and two.
But they're saying they would then go on to win. Oh yeah, I understand now. But I don't think it matters. I think there's enough shades of grey amongst them to make it work.
Yeah, also, Sammy's a babyface.
Uh,
Tyler, MJF broke mine and my wife's heart when he said what he said. I'm sorry, but this is better than the bloodline. It is the best thing in wrestling right now. You were wrong to correct yourself, Ollie. It is the best. Their character development is magical.
Yeah, I love it too, but I do think that's hyperbolic when you really look at the last couple of months of the bloodline.
Anton Reinhardt has been a member for 6 months in a row. Said, I thought MJF or Cole would have turned on each other already, but now that it's to this point, I never want this team to die. Give them all of the belts. Dane Ray said, would love for Cole's friends to hold an intervention for him, saying Max is turning him to the dark side. Max looks sad, then turns on Cole in order to save Cole from his buddies. MJF keeps his heat for turning, and Cole is a remorseful babyface to Max.
That's one way to do it. I like the idea of bringing in like Kyle back. That could be one of the big story beats of this. Kyle comes back. What are you doing, bro?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Dirty Deeds Done Cheap says, Mr. Ollie Davis, I apologize for going on topic, but money. Anyway, after some thought, I've come to agree with you. Seth's current gimmick is annoying, and frankly, there's more mileage with Finn or Priest as champion. # Ollie is always right.
Thank you. There's two just there.
Oh, sorry.
Should I? Because I've got them. Lucas Patterson says, I think having Nick under Darby is great. Work for a few months, then have Nick and Sting turn on Darby. Ultimate swerve. Nick and Sting turn on Darby.
Can't have Sting be a heel. Sting can never be a heel.
Blakey says, don't break the Cole MJF tag team up, but also the heartbreak on the turn is going to be amazing.
It really is. And lastly here, from the Mayor of Painesville, Dan says, hi everyone, hope you're all well. First of all, Luke is very right. Retro games are the best. With those save data can't corrupt and be gone forever like it happened with my PS5. It's all gone. Subscribe to Cutscene for actually good game, cool game info. Oh, and Dynamite was okay.
Good plug there. Go over and subscribe to Cutscene, Luke's other channel, please. The poll ratings are in. Thumbs up, 79%. Mid, 17%. And thumbs down, 3%.
That is an overwhelming thumbs up show.
Yeah.
It's good to see. I feel like this is my Kong Skull Island episode. Because you didn't really like the reveal. And I also didn't really like the reveal, but I've come across as the guy that liked the reveal and is defending it. But I'm not. I'm just talking about it from I'm looking at it from a different side of things.
Oh, no,
but everyone's reaction to this is like, oh, Luke's not. He's a mark. He's a shill.
Why does Luke hate video packages to announce wrestlers?
You don't always need them.
Funnily enough, in this one, you were saying the video package was okay.
The video package was great. But again, I'm not saying it was a good angle. I'm not saying that this was a win.
Stop it with your bad takes, Luke Owen. Thank you very much for joining us here today and for all your Omega chats. It's much appreciated. But for now, I've been Ollie Davis. It's been Luke Owen, DAD. Jam that jam.
Jam that jam.